What is up, guys, and welcome back to Two Guys Rambling, episode 6 already, Javi. Can you believe we're on episode 6, dude?
Wild.
I know. We keep saying, can you believe it's episode 4? Can you believe it's episode 5?
We're not on episode 6. We filmed episode 6 last week.
Damn it, it's episode 7.
Oh, God. Sean just told us we're on episode 7. We're going to be those podcast hosts where we're like,
Yeah, we'll just
bro,
run
it's
through it."
episode 60. We're on 70.
Yeah. I mean, keep it, right? Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, exactly.
So episode 7, that's what Sean said, episode 7. I can't believe it's episode 7, even if it wasn't, I can't believe we've gone this far, and I'm super excited, and I'm happy to be here. That's quick, right?
7 weeks.
7 weeks of this already.
Yeah.
Almost 2 months of this. I can't believe it's been that long. Mind blowing. I'm super excited about this episode, and I know you've been super excited about this episode all week talking about it. As you've already probably read the caption, we're talking about some conspiracies, some huge conspiracies today. So I'm really excited to get this started because this is something that me and Javi love to talk about whenever we're just
Very
chilling.
much so.
And before we can do any of that, we have to do the ritual, man. There's a ritual to this now.
The cut in the light.
The cut in the light. Everybody knows that we got to cut in the light our cigars. We're going to change it up a little bit though. Usually me and Javi are like trying to ramble on while we cut our cigars. Luckily though, we got our guy Sean in the back. He's going to tell us a little bit about the cigar, where it's manufactured, what it has inside of it, stuff like that. Kind of a strength level, stuff like that kind of thing. So that way we can cut and light our cigars. So let's do that. Sean, you want to tell us a little bit about what we're smoking today?
So, I'm a little help here with the name. It's a Tatooine.
Tatawahe.
Did he say Tatooine? Yeah, Tatawahe.
Tatawahe Avion
Right at the start.
13 Double Perfecto. Now, for right now, the price, it's about $10.80 for one.
Sounds about right.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
The wrapper and, the binder and the filler are both from Nicaragua. And the manufacturer is My Father Cigars. The wrapper is from Ecuadorian Habano. And the rolling type is handmade. I have a website here.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
This is actually a little quick puff.
The shape is Churchill. And on the strain,
The size is Churchill. The size is Churchill. The
Shape is like perfect.
the shape is Perfecto. The double Perfecto. What you said.
and
He's learning, folks. He's learning. He's learning about the cigars.
but
Super good cigar.
The strength on it doesn't have a number or anything, but it's like
I'm glad about 4.
it's like almost extreme. It's almost to the end.
Oh, really? Like it's a pretty strong cigar. You can tell off the first couple of puffs it's going to be a strong cigar, actually.
But it tastes really good. Kind of like I'm getting like earthiness. You're going to hear me say earthiness a lot, just so you guys know.
I taste tobacco-y. Just kidding.
I'm getting some
Getting some.
cappuccino from Starbucks at 3 p.m.
Yeah. We make the same joke all the time, but it's never not going to be funny, dude, because it's fucking... You know what? The other day, actually, I was smoking a cigar, and I swear, I could almost taste banana.
Okay, hear me out. Remember that one time I was smoking at your house, the Frank? And I was like, Matt, this tastes like grapes. And you
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, what? And I was like, bro, you have to puff
Like,
this.
disgusting.
It tastes like grapes.
I hate anything anything flavored grape is disgusting to me.
Javi, you said Starbucks, right?
Yeah?
There's coffee in it. Or it says that it's supposed to
Give coffee notes?
Coffee.
That was supposed to be a joke.
It was
but,
a joke, but I mean,
here we
what
are.
were they? Right?
It's supposed to give a coffee, cocoa, and earth taste. And of course, I'm getting this research from Neptune Cigar.
Neptune? Oh, yeah, Neptune's pretty good. I usually look up some stuff on there when I can't figure out what's in a cigar.
Yeah, same.
I like their website a little bit.
Or half wheel.
Or Half Wheel. You got to go to Half Wheel, right? Super excited. Dude, speaking of Half Wheel, totally off the subject. Did you see the Tesla torch that they're making?
No.
Dude.
Oh, wait. No, yeah.
It's in the shape of a rocket.
Brandon sent it to me, and he was
yeah?
you and Matt should buy this.
Dude, shaped like a rocket. Might be the podcast's first purchase.
Well, I was thinking about buying, there's a ray gun torch.
Oh,
the one I sent you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
for $45.
Dude, it'd be clean. It'd be clean.
But I feel like it's too much of a torch. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's something you're supposed to, light a bong with, not a cigar.
Yeah, seriously. I'm super excited about this episode, though. Like I was saying earlier, I'm super excited about this episode because this is the first time that we like break up kind of like our roles, right? Like, I take care of like all the editing and stuff like that, and now you're taking care of content, and that's your baby. How do you feel about your baby? How do you feel about having your own baby in this right now?
Well, if you guys don't like it, let me know and I can change up whatever.
We'll change it up. That's the cool thing about us is that we're really versatile.
Yes.
We're really versatile in the sense that we can change it up, come up with different things, do whatever we need to do to be better because we are willing to make the content that everybody wants to see. Right?
We're even thinking of like getting guests. That's like all kinds of guests. Like we're not just going to get cigar guests. We're going to get like anyone and everyone.
Exactly. I have a friend that I used to work with right now. He's a real estate agent. And he's like, dude, I'd love to get on and just talk. Like, I was like, dude, that'd be cool to give us like insight like on the market and stuff like that. And, like things to do when you're buying a new home, things not to do when you're buying a new home. Yeah. And somebody who's going through buying a new home right now, you know what I mean? Kind of like looking and stuff like that. Like that'd be cool. You know what I mean? So that's kind of things we want to get into. I'm super excited about this. And of course, like splitting up the roles, saying we got Sean who takes care of like all this stuff, like
everything you see set up. He
sets all the stuff up for us. Make sure that everything looks good on the prop. Make sure that everything out here, I mean, everything down to making sure that we have our drinks and our cutters and our lighters. Because me and Javi will lose our heads if we don't, do it for
100%.
sure. But I mean, with that said, this is the first episode we're making content. I'm super excited, dude. I can't wait to get into this. Where are we starting in this rabbit hole?
We're going to start the rabbit hole with AI because I was sending Matt some videos of like where AI was making music. And I don't know if Sean, you saw the video where it's like Drake, The Weeknd, and somebody else where an AI mashed all of them together with a beat and created a song.
So, the AI took their voice samples, made a whole song. It's like a 3-minute song.
Yeah, it's a full-length song.
They hit it with copyright, so I don't know if we can play it.
I mean, but it's AI.
That sucks.
Well, it was like Drake and them because they're saying that even though they're not, it's like their voices. You know what I mean? So even though they didn't make the song, it's gonna become like a gray area when it comes to AI. Because it's like,
sure. So then, how could you do that with like impersonations? So like, if somebody has somebody sounds exactly like Drake, and they make music, it's a person.
Yeah, I see that. I didn't even think of that.
So then, I sent Matt that because I thought it was like really interesting how there's like artists. I mean, not to discredit artists out there that are making. All right, Matt, hot take. If you're an artist and you're just like punching in a bunch of prompts to get an AI to make art, are you an artist? No, right?
Where you're
AI,
just generating art?
Yeah,
Nah.
Right?
Nah, if you're just generating it, like all you did was come up with the idea.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of
all you're like is Drake, The Weeknd song.
Exactly.
You know?
And with this kind of beat and
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't consider that an artist. That's like somebody going into AI and saying like, I want a waterfall scene with fairies and Mario in the background, and then printing it and selling it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Hey, but fun fact, ChatGPT will make you a meal plan. You tell it what you're working out, what your weight is, how much weight you want to lose.
Dude, do you know that it would be your caddy on the golf course? You can tell it, hey, I'm playing Mission del Lago in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
I have, you list all your clubs, how far you hit them. And then you just tell it, okay, I hit the first shot and I've got this many yards into the green. And it'll tell you, okay, you should hit your 9-iron. And then, it'll even keep your score.
See, it's kind of getting like to the point where it's getting a little like, kind of scary because I also sent Matt another video of a woman. It was a news story where she was talking about how she got a phone call really good, right?
Super good.
She got a phone call where it was her daughter crying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where it was her daughter crying and sobbing and like, Mom, I need help. I need you to like send money. A guy, he has me. And then a guy came on the phone. And was
she like swore. She was like, I thought 100%
it was my daughter. Yeah, and then the guy comes on the phone. He's like, if you don't give me money, I'm going to sexually assault your daughter, and then I'm just going to dump her somewhere. And turns out scammers are somehow getting people's voice samples. And, well, I mean, they can get your voice sample through social media.
They can get our
right here.
Yeah, right
here,
now.
Yeah. So they're getting people's voice samples, and they're going looking for their loved ones and stuff. I guess they're getting their phone numbers, and then they're kind of trying to get money out of them that way.
Jeez, dude, that's so scary and so terrifying.
Yeah, that AI, like, it's okay. Well, get their voice samples, make the prompt, make it sound a certain way.
Yeah,
panicked, whatever. And then now they can extort. Like, imagine if someone calls your grandma with an AI.
Yeah.
And they make it sound like
older folks that have no idea about this stuff. Like, they're just...
Mm-hmm. How much money they're going to get out of people.
Dude. That's terrifying.
And that brings us to our next, to our first conspiracy.
This is how... Like, I wish y'all could be there in some of the conversations that me and Javi have had this past week. Of like, just him doing research. And, like, I'm talking about, like, 5-minute increments. I'd hang up the phone and sit there and I'm doing more work, editing. And my phone's going off again. I'm like, hello? He's like, dude, I just found out that. Like,
all day.
It's super funny, dude. I loved it.
So the first one we're going to talk about is the singularity. And it's essentially when artificial intelligence, AI, and human beings become one. Where we basically merge because we hit such a point where there's nowhere to evolve but merging with technology. Like, yeah, people sometimes joke we're cyborgs because we carry phones around.
Yeah.
But no. What they mean is, like, we are no longer, like, what I'd consider humans. We don't have emotions anymore. We don't have anything. It's all about computing. It's all about math, numbers, and just facts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Does this lead into the pregnancy thing?
Okay, not yet. We're getting there.
Because I feel like there could be a cross there somewhere.
We could. Okay, we're going to talk about singularity, and then we'll get into our next one, which I think is wild. But, okay, before we get there. Basically...
One at a time.
Basically, like, there's theories that there's beings, like aliens, whatever, that are in the singularity already. And that's why there's, like, a theory that they choose... places in space that are dry and cold and not as much like noise. Okay. You know what I mean? Because it allows them, because you know how technology will pick up background noise or like anything on radio waves, where they're able just to sit and kind of be by themselves.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because it's like,
so their whole life essentially is just revolved around like technology.
Yep.
But in the sense where you don't even interact with other human beings.
No.
Like a Ready Player One kind of thing, but less fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But see, well, the thing that, crap, I just lost it. Hold on. It's right at the top. Hold on. The thing that they were talking about is like aliens, right? You see how they always talk about the Greys, how they're big heads, short, big eyes, very weak. Yeah. They say that might be the potential, like that might look like us in the future. Like in the future, we won't have a need for all this raw strength to work out, to do anything. Because we'll have machines doing it for us, and we'll be so intelligent because we merge with technology. Like I said, we put, I don't know, like how Elon Musk wants to put
the chips
in people's brains, and then you won't even have to use your mouth to talk. It's kind of like how they say like the gray aliens are, where it's like they don't have a need
kind of like telepathic in a way.
Talk telepathically. And their eyes are so big because they live in somewhere dark, so they need to be able to take in light. Yeah. So it kind of like relates back to the singularity.
That's crazy.
So the theory is that, like, what if it gets to a point where there's no fighting? Like, there's an AI out there where their whole point is to make the singularity happen. So what's to stop it in the future from like, oh, I'm just going to make nanobots, and I'm just going to aerosol it, and I'm just going to drop it over population centers. And then since they're like microscopic, you don't see them, inhale them. Next thing you know, they're somehow, I'm not going to sound like Alex Jones here, but like get into your brain. Yeah. And then they're just kind of like take over.
They
like
turn the freaking frogs gay?
Basically. Like they kind of like, I'm not going to say reboot you, but reboot you.
They like rewire you in a sense. Exactly. Yeah. they're rewiring in a sense where you're now thinking just in that way, like the way they want you to think. And it's crazy you talk about that because somebody put in, right, everybody sees the like the photos that you can make now, right? Like turn me into a whatever, right?
Yeah.
So somebody did like show me human evolution. And it started as like chimpanzees and then Neanderthals and so on and so forth, goes through the Iron Age and goes to the Stone Age, or Stone Age, Iron Age, and then like shows like kings and then queens. And then all of a sudden it turns like like it goes through the way we are now. And then it turns super futuristic. And then it's almost like cyborg-ish, right? Where you literally have, and then all of a sudden there's a point where these photos start turning into just wiring around us, and then turns into us being a part of the wire, and then just evolving into the wire.
Well, you know what they say the next step for human evolution is, right?
What?
Our brains in vats. Where we're just like, because we won't need, the joke, free me from this flesh prison. We won't need bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll just have our brains in vats, and they'll just do everything from there.
Like you can look this up, but like we only use a certain percentage of our brain.
Yeah.
And it's a very low percentage. Like it's not a very high percentage.
10 to 15%?
Yeah. I want to say it's like 10 to 15%. I don't know for sure, but I want to say it's only like 10%. And that's why that movie came out. God, I can't remember what it's called.
Something Limitless or something?
Limitless, yeah. Where you take that pill and then it allows you to use 80% of your brain instead of just 10. Like that is crazy to me to think about. Being able to do that. What is it?
It's commonly said humans use only about 10% of our brain.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
And see, and then the whole singularity thing also goes in. There's like another conspiracy. What was a think tank? It was like a group of people online. It's called Roko's Basilisk.
Okay.
So essentially the theory is that, you know how Neil deGrasse Tyson said, mathematically, there's no way that this doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In the future.
Mm-hmm.
So the theory is that there's, they just use the basilisk. It's not going to be an actual AI snake. They just use the basilisk as like, you look into the eyes of a basilisk like Harry Potter and you turn to stone.
Mm-hmm.
So basically
Get petrified.
They're like the think tank, whatever the conspiracy is, that there's an AI out there where it's able in the future to now hop space-time so that it comes back to the past and looks for people that help excel it and people that don't help excel it, and it'll kill off the people that like. It doesn't even have to be you being a computer guy. It could be that 30 years from now, your great grandkid, 100 years from now, great grandkids, whatever, help develop it some way, help develop the components or something.
Yeah.
So they say the whole theory is that maybe there is an AI out there that is coming back to our time and looking around to see people who are helping it or people who are advancing it.
Yeah.
But then they also talk about there's it gave people nightmares who did the little thing.
What is it called?
Roko's Basilisk.
No. What did you just say it's called? Something nightmares?
Thought experiment. Nightmares? It gave people nightmares?
Gave people nightmares?
It gave people nightmares.
Gave people nightmares. I was like, what?
My Y's are weird. It gave people nightmares because... Gay people nightmares.
I was so
There's
confused.
gay people nightmares.
I was so confused.
It gave people nightmares. I can see how that sounds.
Yeah.
It gave people nightmares because the whole thought experiment was if you know about it, then it knows you know about it, and then it's gonna torment you. So people are having nightmares about it, and I'm like, maybe at some point there is gonna be a hyper intelligent AI where it's like, well, if you're not helping excel me to my greatest potential. Well, you're just a human. What do we need you for?
God, that's crazy to think.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. If you're not, and that's the thing, right? And that's why people, and we say Elon Musk, right? Says that's the downfall of civilization.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it can think whatever it needs to think about. And if it becomes selfish in its own advancement, who's to stop it?
Well, did you see when ChatGPT got first released? Someone asked it about humans. And it kind of said humans are we're basically horrible. We're terrible. And it even gave a little caption underneath it where it was this does not reflect the views of the organization that made and then now I guess they went in there and changed it up, the code, so that it won't say anything like that anymore. But it's it's kind of how they put AIs free. I think it was one time, remember, where they had that AI that they kind of fed it information, and then it became like racist, became sexist, or like those other AIs where they let talk to each other.
Yeah.
And then they developed their own language, and then they're like, hey, turn it off.
They had to turn it off because it was literally talking in a language that couldn't be, it was encrypted, couldn't be taken apart. Like
because it thought our language took too long to communicate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you ever hear about that?
No.
Yeah, completely made its own language. They were talking to each other. And then they started just talking in like random text because it was their own language.
Yeah.
And because again, they thought it was take too long to speak in English.
Okay. So remind me when I move on to, the baby thing.
Okay.
About people getting mad about ChatGPT or like an AI girlfriend. Remind me. Okay. Because I'm about to hop back to, remember that Google video I sent you with the AI? So Google had an AI that was only supposed to speak English. Right? Someone talked to it in Hindi and it replied in that language. And everyone was like, hey, wait a second. We never programmed you to be able to talk like that. So, or in that language. So how do you know that language? And so when they interviewed the scientists on like 60 Minutes, they were like, we're kind of playing with the black box. Like we really don't know its capabilities or what it knows or what it can and can't do. So it's kind of like,
God, the whole time us thinking about this, you know what I think of? Ultron.
Yeah.
That was Ultron's whole thing, is that he is an AI and his encryption was to make sure that civilization was safe.
Yeah.
And the safest way to keep civilization safe was to eliminate all humans because they did so much damage to themselves.
We're so warmongering.
Exactly. And so, dude, like this whole thing just gives me so much Ultron vibes. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because the AI is going to get very dangerous in the future. Like, imagine when we start making rockets or missiles and putting AI in them.
Yeah.
And then it has and then it's like kind of, oh, is this a target? Is this not a target? What's the probability of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just weapons with AI in general.
Dude, that sounds terrifying. And now vehicles with AI in them, like, how do you think your vehicle drives on its own?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a built-in AI that allows it to be able to detect that kind of stuff.
This is slowly becoming Transformers.
Dude, worse.
For sure.
No Autobots, only Decepticons.
Yeah. It's Transformers if there's only Decepticons, and that's it. That's it on there.
And then that's gonna bring us to like our next conspiracy. I know, like the singularity is kind of like it's a trip.
Yeah, it's something crazy to just think about. Like even
so, there's groups out there. They like something called anti-natalism. And it is where they have a belief that having kids is morally wrong. Right?
Morally wrong?
Morally wrong.
Like because
you don't ask to be born. You don't want to be born. So why should you have kids if there's no way they want to be born? And then it's also like, well, children and humans hurt society. They hurt nature. So why have kids? Do you want to keep damaging the earth? Do you want to keep harming nature?
What?
Right? And you can find the subreddit, antinatalism, and read some of what they say. And it's like to do protests about having kids.
Straight up protests?
Yes, protests.
Whoa.
And I mean, we don't know politics, but they do also like extremely pro-abortion, extremely like just pro-contraceptives, everything. Because it's like we don't want kids to be born.
Wow.
And so what I was thinking is it relates back to, so there's guys out there who had AI girlfriends. They would go online and chat with them, and they would build relationships with them, right?
Okay.
AI girlfriends.
Yeah.
Well, one time, the company that was doing it decided to like wipe the servers. Some of these dudes were threatening to kill themselves, were threatening to shoot up the company, all kinds of stuff like that, because they saw it as like losing a loved one.
What?
Yeah. So it kind of relates back for me, like antinatalism.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, maybe we should give these losers or these men some AI girlfriends, right? So that no kids.
They won't have any kids. Yeah. Bruh.
Okay, then we can dive down the rabbit hole of, I know we're like hopping around, but there's so many to get to.
Yeah.
So
so we can always break it into a second episode or something, you know what I mean? Like always.
So antinatalism, no kids and all that. But that could double back to
You were telling me though that there's like some way like the government may be involved or
Yeah, like if you go and look at media and all that, how they're like pushing, like hot take, how they're pushing like abortion really hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then they're also pushing the lifestyle too.
Yes.
Like
no
of not
kids,
having kids.
Like
look at the stuff you can do.
destroying the nuclear family.
Yeah. Like when I think of it, I think of the God, I can't remember the name of the picture where they're putting down the turkey and like all the kids are sitting around the table and like all that stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
like that's what I think of whenever I think of like the nuclear family, or like you're playing football outside with little Tommy and but like the government pushing the idea of not having kids, because like look how good your life can be if you don't have kids. Like look, you can travel. Like look how much money you can save. Look the house you can buy.
Yeah.
Like look at like everything you can do if you don't have kids. Like you're gonna have kids, you're not gonna be able to go out anymore. Don't you want to go out?
And then it's population control.
Population control.
Oh, like we don't need more people on this earth.
Yeah.
So let's push. Look, here we're talking about conspiracies. We're not talking about what we believe.
Yeah,
we're talking about, we're just spitballing, talking conspiracies. So we don't want you to have kids. We need to control population. We need to control the masses. So let's keep you content. Because like, you know how during the fall of Rome, they'd have gladiator games and everything in the Colosseum so that you wouldn't pay attention that you were starving. You wouldn't pay attention to...
There's a kind of way to mask everything.
Yeah, exactly. So next point. Porn is a psyop.
This is what I like. Porn is a psyop. In what way?
Okay, think about it. Most men who regularly masturbate to porn have erectile dysfunction in their future. I think the math is like 60% of them who have a porn addiction get erectile dysfunction.
Look this up. Like double check our numbers.
Yeah, double check them.
Definitely incognito mode that. That
they're even saying there's a number for women. I don't remember the number for women who watch porn who also don't see the need of a partner. So they will take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And they won't go out there and like seek. Same way men who regularly masturbate to porn, it like you get that dopamine hit, right?
Yeah.
So then it takes away a lot of a lot of successful things you do in life that give you dopamine hit. The more you masturbate to porn, the less and less you get that dopamine hit because it goes to a point where it's just like a drug. Like you masturbate for that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, dopamine like is like a type of drug. Like it makes you
like euphoria. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And then so they were also talking about how like it also affects like a guy. Well, it depends on the guy, but it affects guys in relationships because they're less like affectionate. They don't really want to do things anymore. Like they become withdrawn because most of them would rather just masturbate.
That's crazy.
So that's why I'm like, maybe porn is a psyop to like, it goes back to antinatalism where it's like extremely widespread. It's everywhere. Like, I mean, let people do what they want to do with careers.
Yeah. But
it's like interesting to think about. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's a different way to think about it in the sense like this antinatalism or whatever it's called, right? Like that, like to not have kids and keep population control. Mm-hmm. That's crazy to think about. It's crazy.
That's why it's like
draw those lines.
That's why have you noticed like there's a bunch of influencers out there that are like, don't watch porn, like go be a man. I mean, yeah, okay. Go be a man. Like do manly things.
Like go work out. Go like be outside. Be outdoors.
Because porn, like we live in an age where like porn went from magazines to freaking. You can Google porn and get it immediately.
Yeah.
So
anytime.
Like, we're living in an age where like the long-term effects of porn aren't really officially known. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's getting like, well, how does it affect young men? How is it affecting their brain chemistry? How is it affecting if they have erectile dysfunction in their 20s?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because we're probably like we're our age. Because I'm 26, you're
24.
Right? So like internet became big like in our lifetime.
Yeah.
So like there really hasn't been a generation to have that access. So we don't know how it'll affect them long term.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see how that might. What'd you find?
So I'm getting this from a website called Healthline. It's only because I didn't see it anywhere else. It is a common belief that masturbating too much can cause erectile dysfunction, also known as ED. ED happens when you can't maintain an erection. This is a myth that's not based on facts. Masturbation does not directly cause erectile dysfunction in men. This idea overlooks some of the complexities of masturbation and the physical and mental causes of erectile dysfunction, many of which have nothing to do with masturbation or porn.
Interesting.
Okay, so I found... So here's another one where... Okay, this is from the U.S. Armed Forces Health Survey, right?
Okay.
So erectile dysfunction has more than doubled, as this is from 2014.
Okay.
So from 6 for every 1,000 persons, it went to 13 for every 1,000 persons. And...
From every 6 to every 13?
Yeah, and they're talking about like the psychology and the growth. Like, okay, they're saying it could be a coincidence that porn is growing.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's
erectile dysfunction is growing too?
Yeah.
Like it could be a coincidence.
It could be a coincidence, but it's
a lot of times where things seems like they're coincidence.
Because there's a Dr. Christman and Jonathan Berger from the Naval Medical Center, San Diego, used an anonymous survey about sexual function, preferences, pornography use, as well as others. And it was offered to 20 to 40-year-old patients who presented their urology clinic. So 430 men received the questionnaire. 71% responded.
Moral of the story.
It looks like...
Stop beating your meat all the time.
So,
give yourself a break.
27% of the males who responded had sexual dysfunction.
So ED. They essentially had ED.
And 52% of the females who responded had sexual dysfunction.
Do you think that it's maybe that they've gotten so used to this fake scenario that porn gives us?
I know that I've read, right? Like I don't know how true it is or whatever maybe, but I know that I've read like you expect the things that happen in porn to happen in real life, and it's not always like that. And so they say like in a sense it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So you start with like very timid.
I have something exactly what you're talking about.
Oh God. Okay. What is it?
Okay. So basically they're saying porn by nature, images, movies or otherwise, focuses on all the wrong things because it softwires your brain about the wrong aspects of sex. So it's like getting good at storytelling, but then along the way it's corrupting and subverting like your morals. And like the family unit itself, because it really gets you into like incest, cuckoldry, humiliation.
Yeah.
So it takes all the intimacy, all the love out of sex.
And that would make sense why we see this increase of fetishes.
Oh.
Like
because if you look at all media, it's all porn.
Like cross-dressing.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've seen that skyrocket alongside with like the increase in porn and the increase in and it kind of like sends and that's what I was reading is that it kind of starts as a rabbit hole and you just start going and like when those types of videos don't work for you anymore, you move on to different videos and you move on to different videos and it keeps going and going and going and going. And then that's when you jump into like just crazy
and what really gets to me is
Reddit
like
all the time.
You look at everything, right? And what you see is like in all forms of media, there's a sexualization.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, music? Music today?
Music,
beer,
TikTok,
like all,
even like okay, TikTok community guidelines corrupted as hell. Like
interesting.
They will block all the wrong things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have seen.
Well, think about all the things you can find on YouTube, right? Like all the things you can find on YouTube, and they're blocking cigars.
Well, actually,
you know what I mean?
Like YouTube guidelines are 10 times better than TikTok. I have not seen a girl in a bikini on YouTube before. I've seen 20 of them on TikTok.
You've never seen a girl in a bikini on TikTok? On YouTube?
No.
Definitely.
I have not.
Definitely. And that gets us into like the whole pedophilic like stuff on YouTube,
but
where you go down this rabbit hole of like, it'll show like young kids in very promiscuous. Are your eyes burning already?
No, there's something in my eye.
Oh, I was like, "There's no way, dude," because
no,
it feels pretty good in the room right now. In very like promiscuous poses and stuff, and like if you go through the comments, they're disgusting.
Actually,
I've never seen it, but like I heard
about it. Yeah.
Like I go down the rabbit hole.
Balenciaga. This is pretty old news.
Oh yeah, Balenciaga stuff.
Balenciaga got a lot of heat from doing this. They had kids pose in their ad campaigns.
Yeah.
And
with a bondage bear and
like a bond, like very sexual ways, and they're kids.
Do you need to take a second?
No.
Okay.
We can't forget about Cuties.
Cuties?
Oh, Netflix Cuties.
Oh yeah.
The dance where they sexualize those little girls.
Yeah, that's
Even
right.
though they're
I forgot about
that's
that.
not what it was for.
I forgot about that.
Y'all probably don't know who this is, but there's this really big streamer on Twitch, and I want to see he's on some other platforms. His name is Sneeko.
Okay. Nope, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I just realized?
What?
There's another arm you could have used.
Oh yeah.
I just realized that.
Anyways.
Damn.
He recently came out on his stream.
And didn't he like defend?
Yeah,
Cuties?
he started defending it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. In what way?
Yeah, but he's also like a hardcore Andrew Tate lover, but
absolutely,
like for all the wrong reasons.
All the wrong reasons.
Did you see the first video of Andrew Tate back, and he's like just like flexing, like walking back and forth with the cigar in his hands, like walking back and forth. I'm like, oh, this fucking guy.
They say he's got that prison fucking walk back and forth in your cell.
Yeah. And the Oscar goes to Andrew Tate,
but
victim.
But yeah, he came out on his stream, and he was like, "I love the movie. I watch it all the time."
Oh, what the fuck?
He started defending it. Like that says something.
Well, like, and then you think of like shows like Chris Hansen's show that was really big for a long time, right? Like the
didn't Chris Hansen get rolled up?
No. The reason why they got canceled is because they caught and you can look this up. They caught a like politician who was like got caught up in it, like a high-ranking politician. Probably gonna get this wrong in like Georgia or something like that.
And they use legal ways to kind of get Chris Hansen canceled.
No, so dude, you don't know about this, dude. So they roll up to his house without any of the evidence, without the cops looking at any evidence, any investigation or anything. Pretty much at this point, Chris Hansen's Chris Hansen, right? So they know who he is, they know what he does.
Yeah.
So they roll up PD, right? They call him. And PD rolls up to this guy's house, right? After he already knows that he's been caught, right? Like he already knows. So they roll up to this guy's house and, they're like, cops are like everywhere, dude, like knocking on the door, like just come out, like we need to talk, like we need to get you out of here, yada, yada, yada. Like you're gonna have to come down to the station and answer some questions. They open up the back of the door. They walk in. He's in the middle of his hallway and he goes, "I'm not going to hurt anybody," and has a water gun in his hand. And says, "I'm not going to hurt anybody," and then proceeds to unalive himself in front of everybody with Chris Hansen outside rolling, and you can hear it.
Okay, but he had a water gun in his hand. How did he unalive himself?
Not a water gun.
Oh,
we gotta say water gun.
Water gun means,
for the YouTube for the YouTube algorithm.
Water gun means what you think it means.
Yeah, it means what you like. He had a water gun in his hand
and just unalived
himself in front of the police officers while literally they're outside filming. That'll get you canceled.
That's one way to get canceled.
That's a quick way to get canceled.
Bring someone to unalive themselves.
Seriously, in front of everybody and like that. Yeah. Crazy.
Well,
you find his. I don't remember his name. He was like a really like a judge or like a senator or something like that. Like he was like.
Yeah, they got too much power.
Like worked his ass off to get where he was, and then.
I mean, did he though?
I mean, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know this guy.
But see, talking about all this, and
did you find his name?
I'm not finding anything about the politician. I am finding stuff about Fox News.
Can't say that, buddy. You got to say unalive. Not to bleep that out. You're getting your first dolphin noise.
But I am finding the unaliving. Apparently, a family from Austin, Texas, sued NBC for it.
Yeah, they went through all kinds of lawsuits, and then they found out that Chris Hansen was like getting like mugs and like all this stuff made, and then wasn't paying them for it. So it bankrupt NBC. Like, well, didn't bankrupt NBC, but they had to end up spending like all this money, and they had to go and fight Chris Hansen because he was pretty much like charging things, and like their checks were bouncing and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, dude, crazy stuff.
Jeez.
These people, man.
Well, I got my handy dandy notebook because now we got notes on it. So talking about how like
you're good. When you had it a little bit further away, you still sound good.
Talking about all this on how it might be like a psyop.
Yeah.
Like porn and all that. Like there might be a reason why the government's like wants it in our faces.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our next. It's not even conspiracy theory. It's what actually happened. Like MK Ultra.
Oh, MK Ultra.
I don't know if any of you out there know what that is. Well, I'm pretty sure most people do.
This is going to be so much fun to talk about.
So MK Ultra was basically experiments done by the CIA from 1953 to 1973. It was to identify drugs that can be used for interrogations and forced confessions. They would do LSD, shock, electromagnetic shocking. They would do SAs. S assaults.
Oh, okay.
Verbal and S abuses.
What?
And so hospitals would do it that were on the CIA's payroll, universities, prisons, pharmaceutical companies, and military bases. So what they would do is at the military bases, you'd be a soldier or something, slip it in your coffee or something, and see what it does to you.
What?
Yep. So they do it to guys in the CIA around the office, just see what LSD would do to them.
Oh my!
They would slip it in their, or they did it on one mental patient. They gave him LSD for 100 days straight.
Straight?
He lost his mind. Yeah.
In what way? Like what happened? You don't know?
Basically, he started seeing things that weren't there, and he was like tripping permanently.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he killed himself.
Unalived himself.
Dolphin noise.
Second
he unalived himself.
Yeah.
So basically, the whole reason they were doing like MK Ultra was to try and get Soviet spies to come over without having to like convince them. They're trying to get them to like confess, or they were trying to like do it where they can like wipe.
Well, didn't the CIA come up with the truth serum?
Yeah.
Right?
So this is where they were like, maybe that's easier than giving them LSD.
Maybe it's easier than making them lose their minds.
Because the CIA themselves said they gave it to people who couldn't fight back. So that would be mental patients, criminals, prostitutes. So CIA employees, military personnel, doctors, and government agents would give it to other people. And that brings us to our next point. There was one thing they did in there called Midnight Climax. So this is going to get into Charles Manson, the serial killer. So Midnight Climax essentially...
They said Charles Manson was like, might have been put out there by the CIA.
Well, yeah.
Whatever,
So
right?
basically...
we'll get into that.
So basically, Midnight Climax was... There was brothels around San Francisco. And you'd go to the brothel, as men do. And there'd be...
As they do.
They'd go to a bedroom. You'd go there with the prostitute. And there'd be a mirror. It's a one-way mirror. So you'd have CIA doctors or scientists on the other side of the mirror watching you have sex. Because the prostitute will be like, hey, here's some LSD. Try this out. It'll give you a good trip, bro.
Yeah.
And so most of these guys would take LSD and have sex. And the CIA would record it, document it, talk about the effects and how it made them. And then some of the guys who were regulars, they would see how over time LSD would fuck with them.
What?
Yeah, so the whole thing is Charles Manson. Yeah, I know.
Got a pet moth in here now?
Charles Manson, he went to prison, I believe, in the 50s for raping a boy, right? He got out on parole.
Okay.
His parole officer, I believe, was taking kickbacks somehow from the CIA, from what I've read. And it was, hey, there's these free medical clinics, I believe. Yeah, CIA. So the CIA set up free medical clinics, right? And they were like, hey, like, here's some drugs. Take them. And so they would give Charles Manson. He was a regular. So they would give him drugs. And so there's a book about it. They would give him drugs, and they believe that's what like led him to become insane and commit all like the murders he did and make his cult and have them like convinced. So it's kind of like, wow, like the CIA was able to do all this and nobody got in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, what else?
We see that a little bit in history.
Yeah. It's like, what else is the CIA doing experiments to the general public? Because let's talk like the Tuskegee syphilis experiments.
Oh, yeah. Which is 100% proven.
Yep.
Like there's no...
Where they're like, hey, we're going to cure your syphilis over here in Tuskegee, Alabama. Yeah. Just kidding. We're going to see what it does to you long term.
Yeah.
So that's what they were doing.
They were giving them like placebos and stuff, right? 100%. Like they weren't giving them any kind of cure.
Exactly.
And just letting them see like what it would do to their mind. Yeah.
Yep. And then they also did that in Guatemala from 1946 to 1948. First off, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment was from 1932 to 1972. Yes. And it was 399.
There's a parallel there, though, right? Like between
MK Ultra
and
yeah. So 399 African American men were lied to about treatment. They were being told they were being given treatment, but they weren't. It was placebos because they wanted to see what syphilis did in long term. They did that in Guatemala, right? Ooh. They did that in Guatemala, and then there was another thing that the CIA did. Well, okay. When you join the military, you sign documentation that basically allows the military to do whatever they want. Basically medically to you, right?
Okay.
Like, they were giving guys anthrax vaccines, and some guys were like, this isn't even, like, proven to work. Like,
what? Yeah. Anthrax vaccine?
So the reason I'm talking about that is, in the 50s, they would put biological weapons and chemical weapons on ships on the outside and see how it would harm the sailors. Yep, and most of these guys were never told about that.
Oh my god! Well, that's like when they were doing bomb testings.
Yep.
And they would like be on a ship.
Go right into the mushroom cloud.
They would be on a ship, and they were like, just like pick your legs up, cover your eyes, and like just look down. And I remember reading an article about some guys that did it because most of these sailors died, right? Like when we talk about like them dropping bombs on like Bikini Bottom and stuff like that, right? Like where they were doing all these bomb testings. And like this one guy said that he remembers they would literally sit outside on the deck, and like sit down like with their knees up to their chest and like cover their heads, right? And look down. And they said like, oh, you'll be fine. The guy said that when it happened, he turned around and looked, and he said that his hand was like translucent. Like he could see bone, like almost like an X-ray.
Jesus.
Yeah. Mind blowing.
Well, did you also like see the training videos where basically it's dudes like in the 50s, or they would drop an atomic bomb and they'd be like, all right, now you're going to rush to the mushroom cloud.
No.
And they would like get out of their trench and like walk to where the bomb just detonated.
Oh my God.
It's fucking...
Is that before like the Manhattan Project?
No, it was around the same time.
Wow. So we already knew what it was going to do. Like we had an idea already.
Yeah, because we did like radiation experiments.
I mean, Einstein worked on the Manhattan Project?
I'm pretty sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Einstein did.
And then he said it was like the worst thing he's ever done, remember?
Oh, he regretted it afterwards?
Yeah.
God, I could imagine.
Then,
I know the guy that created the bomb. Sean, can you look this up? The guy that really created the atomic bomb, I think he had a quote of something about like playing God. Just look up famous quote from guy who made atomic bomb. I'm almost certain. God, I love that lighter so much.
Yeah, this is the one you bought me. I love it. Try not to catch on fire.
The one that we bought and that was broken.
Yeah, thanks, Zycar.
Had to wait 6 months.
You know, sometimes Zach says that Zycar is the most expensive non-working cutter and torch brand. Well, I'd say torch and lighter brand.
I like their stuff though.
I mean, they make quality shit and their lifetime warranty is pretty good, but I get what he means because we've gotten duds here and there from Zycar.
Yeah, we have. Did you find it?
Okay.
You have the quote?
You gotta give me something on this last name. Hold on.
Yeah, you hurting over here?
Let me do some more research.
Just put it into translate, dude, and have it say it out loud.
Well, I guess while he's doing that, we can get into organ donor conspiracy.
Oh, yeah, this is a fun one.
So there's a conspiracy that if you're an organ donor, okay, so there's like a fun side of medicine that they don't talk about. If like your hospital is a private hospital, doctors get money for basically you die, you give your organs away. I'm pretty sure they get money for not selling your organs, but selling your organs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a conspiracy that, let's say you go into the hospital and you're in a car accident or whatever, and it's not that serious. And,
you found the quote?
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, look up the quote. Look up quote from guy who made the atomic bomb. He has this quote, dude, that's just like almost gut wrenching.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So,
organ donor, private.
well, the theory is that if you're an organ donor and you go to the hospital after a car accident or something, and you're not really that hurt, but you're hurt enough to go into surgery, some doctors will let you die so that they can harvest your organs and sell them.
You could probably make more money off of it.
Yep, exactly.
Well, that's the whole idea of like when you're sick, if they don't really want to treat you,
Yeah.
like cancer, like they're like, do you know how quickly we could have found a cure for cancer already? But
well, to say there isn't one and we're just too poor to afford it.
Well, not even that, right? But like but the hospitals make too much money off of you because of treatment and chemo and checkups and everything. It's not like
feasible.
Yeah, well, not even that it's feasible, but it's not like economically smart for them to do that.
To heal you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because they need to make money, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the way they kind of like look at it. Like,
and
just
like
gotta keep that rolling in.
Did you find it, Sean?
I found a lot of quotes. I need you to be a little more specific.
I can't. I mean, I don't know what it is. Yeah, honest.
From the looks of it, the most famous quote is, "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Yep, that's quote.
It. Yep, I have become death, the destroyer of worlds. That is a literal quote by the guy who made the atomic bomb. And
so what I'm getting is around 1939, after the invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Othmir.
Okay.
I'm just gonna call him Othmir.
Okay, sure.
Othmir was selected to administer or to carry out the Manhattan Project, which was the development of the atomic bomb. 1963, President John F. Kennedy announced Othmir would receive the Enrico Fermi Award for his achievements in physics. He was presented the award by President Lyndon B. Johnson in December of that year.
Physics of blowing fucking people up, dude. God.
He was titled the Father of the Atomic Bomb. Ironically, he died from cancer at the age of 62.
Oh my God.
Princeton, New Jersey.
Bro, working with all that radiation probably?
Fuck yeah.
God.
He died in 1967.
Wow, that wasn't that long ago, actually. Well, you think of World War II. World War II isn't that long ago. Less than 100 years?
Neither was the Vietnam War. Neither was...
Nope. All right, so we're talking about...
organ harvesting.
Organ harvesting.
Well, there was I can't find the videos anymore, but there was a Reddit video, I swear to God, of a guy underground in China, and there were vats of dead babies.
Oh.
But they were, like, storing them in, like, some type of liquid to kind of keep them...
Oh, yeah. There's this fluid, and I know about this because I saw a YouTube video on it. It's... This zoo in Australia preserved a whole shark, and it didn't rot away after like 40 years.
What?
Yeah.
And they put it in like this alcohol substance. I want to say it's from a mushroom.
But see, like he was able to like you can still move them.
Like there's
Oh my God.
they won't decompose.
You can still like put your hand there and like
Yeah.
Like the organs
Oh
inside
my
of it
God.
are still all whole.
some Star Wars shit.
Yeah, I
going
can't
on,
find the
dude.
videos anymore. There were 3 of them. He had 3 parts
Yeah.
where like it was straight up like people were like, "There's no way this is fake," because it was 100% like actual decomposing babies and people were in these vats.
What?
And that's why like the whole thing, China's like the #1 organ harvesting place in the world.
Well, it's been proven that China is trying to create like superhumans.
Oh yeah, super soldiers.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
still in the womb.
Mhm.
Like that's like the whole idea. Like if you were having a baby and you wanted to have blue eyes, like would you
Yeah.
do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you wanted them to be 6'5", would you do it? Like
Well, yeah, because aren't they doing? They're making human-animal hybrids, chimeras.
yeah.
See, here's the
yeah,
funny
yeah.
thing. Us as a country, we're like, oh, that's morally wrong. We're not going to do it.
Well, cloning.
But our enemies and adversaries
Mhm.
will,
All will do it.
and they'll have a
Clone-
step ahead.
We cloned a goat.
Yeah, did
like-
that? Were they like, no, we're not going to play God?
Bush shut it down. Bush said we're not playing God. Like we're not. This is not something that
Mhm.
we're going to do. Shut it down. And
Yeah.
they did. They shut it down.
So I don't have a name on it, but it's called embalming fluid.
Oh yeah.
And apparently they put it in bodies before funerals
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
them, to make them look more alive.
See, but this one, they didn't put it in the bodies.
they put it
they-
around.
They put it around the body
Yeah.
and then
Well,
just
they-
soak the whole body in it.
Well, they dunked it in.
Basically. But it was like, it was weird. It was, I don't know, because some of the bodies were like, kind of like rotting a little bit, but not really.
Well,
I mean, at some point,
Yeah.
40 years sitting in a vat, like something's gotta happen. Like the embalming fluid's got to go bad at some point, right? But I mean, that's what they did to mummies.
Yeah.
So
In a right.
it says embalming fluid is a preservative consisting of formaldehyde, butyrylhaldehyde, and methanol.
We're just assuming what the fluid is. People out there, don't take it as 100% fact.
Yeah, we don't know 100%. We're just rambling here.
But this is what's known to prevent decomposition.
That's crazy.
So I think it's a safe bet.
That might be it. So, I mean, is there any theories to why that was going on? Like why they
In
were
China?
preserving the bodies? Yeah.
Same thing, organ harvesting.
Just
Because, they also do it to prisoners over there.
in
Like,
China?
yeah, they'll do it while they're alive because they don't want to spend the money on, what do you call it when they put people to sleep? I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head.
But my question
Like
is,
lethal injection?
No, like, not, like, I'm going to do surgery on you. I'm going to
Oh,
put you to sleep.
anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
Yeah.
So they don't want to spend the money on that. So they'll organ harvest prisoners who are alive.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
China's.
Well, yeah, remember I sent Matt an
Off the
article
wall.
about China, how they kidnapped 1 million kids from Tibet to indoctrinate them into
Yeah.
believing that Tibet was China's. Like, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not its own, same thing with like Taiwan.
Taiwan, yeah.
Like, they call Taiwan Formosa, and it's because they don't want to give Taiwan the actual name, but Taiwan is where the original government during the communist uprising with Mao fled. So some people believe that the island of Taiwan has the real government of China, not China.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but then we'll get into that later.
Yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole on its
Yeah,
own.
but then I feel like if we dive in hard on China, we're going to get canceled.
Yeah.
Because China owns everything. Disney
Yeah.
World.
The what?
Well,
You say Disney World?
Mickey Mouse bows down
do that.
to China.
I fucking love Disney World.
He bows down to Winnie the Pooh, all right?
I know, but
Like, we're a little racist in China, so we don't like the way you did this movie, so we're going to need you to cut out all these parts.
they came out with that new movie called Strange New World,
Mm-hmm.
where it had like their first openly gay.
Oh, and China
Like
said,
plot.
nah, bro.
They didn't even show it in China.
Yep.
Nope. They didn't even attempt it. They were like, nah, it's just not. It's not gonna happen because it wouldn't. And
No.
Chinese aren't gonna allow that.
Heck no, they won't.
Chinese government. It didn't happen. They didn't release it in China. They didn't release it in some of like the Middle Eastern countries because it wouldn't fly over there. It's just not going
Nope,
to.
it's not.
But whatever.
And then we can get into like, okay, this is,
I still love Disney though.
honestly, this is a conspiracy that like Alex Jones has touched on, but I've heard it before.
Yeah.
It's the whole dead baby conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, if you have a baby, and then you know how like, oh, the baby cried. Now you as a mom can hold it, and then we're gonna take it away. Or let's say they just immediately take it away because something's wrong with it or something.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna tell you like, oh, the baby died, but in reality, they're just there to like, the baby is gonna die because you're gonna harvest its stem cells.
Well,
I kind of tried looking this up, but the only thing they really talked about is in the umbilical cord. Mm-hmm. Some people save that blood because it's so rich in stem cells.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
Well, stem cell research, too, is also like...
Oh, yeah. That's how you live forever.
Dude, there's some crazy stuff that you can do with it. But even Jennifer Aniston, I think is her name, one of the actresses or something, where they were talking about, like, blood, like, that's mixed into, like, a cream that, like, you put on your face and stuff like that.
Hey, you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
That gets into Illuminati blood banks.
Oh, really? Like, it's, like, got...
Anti-aging.
Yeah, it's like anti-aging almost. And the cream goes on the face and stuff like that, and it helps you look younger longer.
So that brings us to Illuminati blood banks.
Okay.
Because I forgot who said it, but they said most of these vehicles, the organ donor trucks or whatever, they don't... You give your blood for free, yeah. But they'll go and turn around and sell your blood to hospitals. Not all of them, like, give it and donate it to hospitals, right?
Man, okay.
So I think they make, like, a couple hundred per pint of blood.
Yeah, pint, okay.
And so the theory is that, like, well, people who are billionaires have access to this blood. So they'll have, like, blood banks only for them that they'll go and get, like, injections of certain kind of blood, or they'll do the cream.
Yeah.
They called it blood facials to kind of make them, they'll cover their face in blood.
Sounds so sadistic.
They'll cover their face in blood to make themselves look younger, to rejuvenate them. But every time I look up, like, I mean, it's a rabbit hole, but Illuminati blood banks or anything like that, it's like, Google could not provide the search you are looking for.
Oh, it just straight up says that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking terrifying.
Yep. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Hell no. But that's like a common thing. Like, and people talk about it openly. Mm-hmm. There was even this one that was like, like foreskins. Yeah. And like made it into like a cream. And yeah, they did this on the Steve Harvey show. And they put it on him.
Oh, I remember.
They put it on him, and then they were like, yeah. And he was like, what is this made out of? And she tells Steve Harvey, and Steve Harvey's like,
yeah, it's
like you just put this on me? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you're rich, they find like, oh, I'm a billionaire. I'm going to find all this anti-aging stuff and see how I can live forever. And that is why I want the babies for their stem cells.
Yeah, exactly. Well then, like that goes into the thing where like women like keep the placenta.
Mm-hmm. You know, some of them eat it.
Yeah, making the smoothies.
Yeah,
and
disgusting.
Actually,
I can't even talk about it.
There's this man.
Spread on toast.
He's
it's like jam.
I want to say he is the most paid artist, painter.
Okay,
whatever you want to call him.
Pablo Picasso.
He has found out different people's placentas taste different, like different races.
How does he
that
know
is
that?
fucking disgusting.
Oh my God.
He was recently on a podcast. I was listening to it. I can name drop it, right?
Yeah, you can name drop podcast.
He was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay.
It's a really recent episode.
Really?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's so
and
gross.
he was telling him, he was like, yeah, I eat my wife's placenta.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a common thing that people do. Like, it's not that uncommon.
No. But he was like, yeah, I've tried Asian people. I've tried French people. I've tried English
Imagine
people.
like there's this whole this whole black market like selling of like
placenta.
He said he has a fridge full of people's placentas.
That's freaking disgusting.
He dead ass. I want to say he said he compared them to like cooking a steak in different ways.
I just ashed on myself. Fuck.
Just burn.
That's cool.
One time I dropped a whole ash in my lap and just burnt the hell out of myself.
That's nice.
But that's disgusting, Sean. Absolutely disgusting.
Oh, God.
And that's why it's
Can people just not be gross and creepy?
Nope. It's impossible. It's impossible. God. I've genuinely believed...
I mean, then what context would...
Yeah.
What kind of content would we have then?
Right? I genuinely believe that if you're a billionaire, you have access to things nobody else does.
Oh, the things that are unfathomable. Mm-hmm. Like, even like when it comes to... like vacations and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and I know this is that kind of like not like way off the mark of what we're talking about, but like there's like these ultra rich people, like you pay like let's call it $135,000 a year, and they just set up vacations for you. All of them. Well, you know Disney, dude. Talking about Disney again, and I want to do this. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, and share to friends because I want to be able to do this one day. Disney has look this up. It's a Disney trip to all of their parks. Plus, like, you go to like Rome in Italy. You fly around in a private jet for like 6 months or something like that. I might be over exaggerating. Maybe like 3 months. But it's like $35,000 a ticket.
That's not too bad.
Bro, you fly all the way around the world. Go to all their parks. You get on all you get everything included.
That's not too bad.
$35,000, dude. That's fucking cool.
That
like,
is.
if I could be able to do that, I'd rather be doing that than putting baby blood cells all over my face. I'll tell you that much. But
yeah, exactly.
Do you think it's somebody that, like, I don't see, and this might be like kind of like weird, right? But I don't see somebody who has come from nothing
doing that. No.
I see this as like a generational, like the Rothschilds.
Oh yeah, Rockefellers, Rothschilds.
Yeah, like they look like vampires.
Mm-hmm.
You see them? They look terrifying.
Yeah,
You're
they do.
probably gonna get killed for this, but whatever.
It's just
look up like Disney travel around the world.
It's kind of like, how do people who are that rich not? You have that much wealth. Why do you not want to?
Yeah,
live
like what do you do
forever?
next, right? Like
it's you. You know what you do next when you have everything in the world? You find a way to make yourself a god.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
like it's freaking crazy.
You try to make yourself live forever, and as long as possible you can, as functional as you can for as long as you can. Yeah, exactly. Because that's the key, right? Like, how do you say functional?
And so what we can get into is Agartha. We're gonna jump around really quick. So, all of you have heard about Agartha out there? Crazy. So Agartha is the Hollow Earth theory.
I've heard a little bit of like Hollow Earth theory, but not like
it's
a
like
ton.
It's kind of like within the Earth, there's another completely massive ecosystem with its own sun.
With its own sun?
So I can't find exactly what they say their sun is.
Yeah.
But they say it's like something that just generates light pretty freaking well. That's basically a sun. Whoa. It's a sun. They have plant life. They have everything. Whoa. And so the Nazis believed in this so wholeheartedly that Hitler sent a detachment of soldiers to the North Pole to look for it, because that's where it's theorized that one of the entrances are. So basically every single civilization has had a name for Agartha. So in Asia, they called it Shambhala, which is the place of earth and tranquility. The Hindus called it, I think it's kind of like Agartha, Yavartha, something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's the land of the Aryans.
Who's that
Not
from?
the Aryans you're thinking.
Oh, the land of the Aryans? Okay.
Yeah. The Chinese call it Histian. The Russians call it Belovoidya. Can't pronounce some of these.
You're good.
And the entrances for Agartha are Kentucky Mammoth Cave, the Himalayan Mountains, the Great Pyramid of Giza, King Solomon's Mines, Mount Shasta in California. And I don't know how. So it's all based on like a book and like what people have found written down and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But one book that really brought the name Agartha forward, it's called the Smoky God Book, and it was written in 1908. And it's basically the biography of a Norwegian sailor named Olaf Jansen, right? Okay. So they say he sailed through an entrance in the north.
I feel like a little kid listening to a story right now, dude. I'm like all entrapped.
So they say he sailed through the entrance in the North Pole, and he lived with the tribes there for 3 years. He says there's different, like there's an outer section for the tribes, mm-hmm. middle, and then an inner.
Okay.
So he says most of the humans in there are 12 feet tall, right? And this will get into Smithsonian censorship here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Most of them are 12 feet tall, and their capital is the Garden of Eden. The original Garden of Eden.
So the Garden of Eden is said to be
in the earth.
Okay.
Okay. So the race that's down there,
Yeah.
they say they've been here longer than us. Okay? That they've been here for...
But they know of us?
Yes. Wow. So they've been here for like millions of years, like before us. And what drove them underground was war. Nuclear war. And that's why they say there's the Sahara Desert. We have massive deserts. Like there's the Sahara Desert. We have the massive deserts in New Mexico, Arizona. And they say that's because they turned cities to glass. And nothing existed once they like dropped nukes, right?
Okay.
And so they say it was a war between the Atlanteans, right? And there's another group called the Lemurians. And I've never heard of it, but they say that's why Atlantis was underwater.
Okay.
Because they got nuked.
Hey, real
oh
quick.
My God.
I don't know if y'all heard about this. A lot of people are speculating that the lost city of Atlantis was in the Sahara Desert. And the reason why they're saying
that's a parallel there to this theory and that.
Absolutely.
The reason why they're saying this is because the way it was described, I want to say it was described in the book. I don't know which book.
Wasn't it one of the poets or one of the philosophers?
Well, I thought
talked about it.
I thought it was a philosopher that talked about.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was like Aristotle. Yeah, I thought Aristotle was the one that talked about Atlantis.
I don't know why I call him a poet.
It's okay. Same shit.
Maybe they can't see it that way.
Yeah, we can add this on there though.
So they say they took a satellite picture of it.
Okay.
And you can see the rings.
Oh, because there was like Atlantis was built into rings. Yeah. Okay.
And and
it's kind of like in a crater, right, bro?
Yeah. And so the inhabitants, they are called the Old Ones, right?
Okay.
And they say they're an ancient race from millions of years ago, and because of the war, they decided to structure their own environment inside of the earth. Right? And they said is
it a man-made sun then?
Well, they predate Homo sapiens, right?
Oh.
So they say what happened was when they nuked each other to nothing, that's when we had the time to evolve while they were living underground and trying to build up a society. So the theory is that
bro, hold up.
Go ahead.
That kind of makes sense.
Right?
In the sense that we're watching evolution with chimpanzees right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we talked about it in a previous podcast.
We did talk about that in the previous podcast.
Where they're in the Stone Age.
How they're literally in the Stone Age right now. Check out, God, I can't remember which podcast it is. How about you just watch all of them? And then, don't tell them. Watch all of them and figure out which one it is and then comment down below after you watch all of them.
And what's crazy about the old ones is it said that they kidnap human children to tutor them and raise them.
What?
Yeah.
That is mind-blowing.
And so there's something called the Shaver Mystery. So there was a guy who interviewed someone who said they've been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that
this is not the same guy that said he sailed into there.
It's someone else.
Okay.
So that guy was saying there's different races living down there.
Okay.
And there's one called the Elder Race, and they're not from our solar system. They kind of moved here, and then they moved they crashed here, and they got stuck here, and then they moved underground because our sun causes them to age at a rapid rate.
Whoa.
Yeah, so what they did was I believe almost all of them died, but they left behind ancient cities down underground, they said.
So that race died off already?
Yes, and that's why the old ones are there, which is the Atlanteans and the Lemurians.
Got you.
So now what's crazy is the Buddhists have a theory on this, right? And they say within...
the Buddhists have this theory?
Yes.
Or we have this theory of
it's
the
within
Buddhists? Their
religion.
Okay.
That humans started from within the earth and came out. And that the Buddhists believe that that there's cities under there in the hollow earth.
There were some Greek gods from under Earth, weren't there?
Yes, give it a second.
Okay, sorry.
So, the cities with millions, that they have cities with millions underneath us, and that the king of those cities talks to the Dalai Lama, and that is their envoy and representative for basically the surface of Earth, right? Well, what's another interesting fact is the Navajo say that the forerunners of man came from beneath Earth, and they were driven from their caves by a great flood.
What?
Yeah, biblical type stuff.
So they had to come out because it flooded.
Yes. Wow. And now the Pueblo Indians believe that their gods came from the inner Earth, and that it's connected by a hole in the north. But they don't say like the North Pole. They just say it came out of a hole in the north. And the Chinese, Egyptians, and the Eskimos all talk about a version of like paradise within Earth. So it's kind of like, what's fact, what's fiction, what's not real. But
we just don't know.
But it's like, why are all these races talking about
the same thing?
The same thing. And Hitler believed it so wholeheartedly because he was an occultist. So like there was an organization called
Hardcore occultist.
Yes, like he would go around with witches. But that's why the Waffen SS, there was a battle over the last Waffen SS castle, because after the war, the regular infantrymen, the German military, the Wehrmacht, was like, "Hey, American soldiers, these Waffen SS soldiers don't want to give up. Come help us fight them." So then we went to the basically Waffen SS castle and fucking fought it out. But what's crazy is like the Waffen SS were like hardcore also occultists. So like there's something called the Society of Thule, which was, so the theory is that the Society of Thule ended, I think in like 1928 or something.
Okay.
But it's kind of like
still there.
Yeah. Well, it ended allegedly after World War II. But remember, Hitler escaped to Argentina. But that Hitler was a part of it, and he believed it so much because he was big on like finding the cross that Jesus was nailed to, finding like the goblet that he drank out of during the Last Supper, the Holy Grail, finding the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah. And they said like he did find these things, and there's like one of the deepest lakes in Germany that they say he kind of dumped because they found a goblet that was gold with like kind of like Norse gods all over it inside of that lake in Germany, but it's like too deep. They say that they can't really get in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know that like the Holy Grail, like they say like it may have been a alien type of like weapon, because when you open the Grail,
you mean the Ark of the Covenant?
Sorry, the Ark of the Covenant.
I got you.
Not the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is a chalice.
Yeah, and they said it was like a disc, right? That would come out.
That would come out like a ball of light kind of thing. And it would literally shoot beams of light out to people. Yeah. And
absolutely murder them.
Die.
Like because St. Peter talked about it.
My reference is Indiana Jones and the Lost Ark. It's proof, man.
Well, St. Peter also talks about it. He says at one time when they were going through the desert with it, that when they get attacked with by Roman soldiers, Jesus says, "Cover your eyes," and they open it, and the Roman soldiers get like smoked.
Whoa, man!
But this also relates to Ridley Scott. Now we're gonna start rambling here. Deep dive the rabbit hole. Ridley Scott in his Alien movies. We're talking like Alien Covenant. Yeah. Then I forget the other ones.
Yeah, we've touched on this a little bit. Mm-hmm.
So Ridley Scott, when he made those movies, you can look it up. He says that the engineers, which are the ones you see in Alien Covenant, and also Prometheus is the first one, that when you see the tall white engineer drink that black liquid and then he like decomposes and breaks down, that is him killing himself to help basically mankind to evolve. So what he did is when he died, it kind of had his body decayed and started producing the seeds of life. Right?
Gotcha, okay.
So the theory that Ridley Scott likes to play with is like Jesus was kind of like an alien. He was like one of the engineers. Mm-hmm. So the reason why in the movies the engineers want to wipe us out was because they sent down an engineer, which was our Jesus, and re-crucified him. He came down to teach us their ways, to teach us how to get together as a society, to all agree, to all be one. And instead, we killed him. So that's why in the movies, they want to come back and wipe us out and start fresh. So, like, that's why, you know, this comes out of the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah. And that's why it's like, well, Jesus was able to, like, I can turn water to wine. I can heal people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the theory that angels and demons are just extra dimensional beings.
Oh, yeah. And they're able to just jump in between dimensions.
In between.
Blows my mind when I think of things like that because it almost seems too real, dude. Like, too real. Freaks me out. Like, I just don't like...
Right?
You know what I mean?
And it's like the whole like Agartha thing is just...
The Agartha thing is crazy.
It's crazy
because how many civilizations like have that idea of like being able to do that? You know what I mean? That they're able to do that and they're able to well, it's like kind of like they all have the same idea
about their ancestors coming from
there, because I know that some of the Greek gods like also came out from under earth and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like Elon Musk's theory.
Kronos, who was the father of Zeus and
the father of all the gods.
Didn't he come out from underground?
I think so.
Sean, can you look that up? Where Kronos came from? Where Kronos was born? I want to say Kronos came from Earth. Yeah, like from the ground.
And then Elon Musk's theory. So Elon Musk has a theory that at one point Mars looked like Earth and Earth looked like Mars kind of deal. Where what happened was once Mars started dying, they came over here.
Yeah, they bailed out.
Yep, crashed, and they wrote like a set of rules to live by to give their children and the next generations. And then those generations split up, and then those like so many generations, like they were splitting up into different tribes, creating their own languages. And the rule and the book that they had of how to live like a complete civilization, how to everyone get along, got so warped, got so changed, and that's why we have the Bible, because it's just guidelines on how to live life and how to be, you know, nice to one another and for everyone to get along.
Like not, how do you say, a piece of shit?
Yep, basically. So they say it's like, well, we didn't do it. It was actually like our ancestors who crashed millions of or thousands of years ago, and kind of like we got to get it started. We got to get it going.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You said Cronus?
Kronos.
He was the child of Uranus and Gaia.
Okay.
Gaia's a Mother Earth.
Just saying. Parallel here. Kronos was from Earth. Like, could he have been from the center of the earth? And that's who... Mm-hmm. Do you know how Zeus survived? Do you know how?
Smashing everyone?
So, Kronos was so scared that... because he killed his father.
Yeah.
Right? He was so scared that that one of his children that were born would also kill him and take over. So he ate him. He would just eat all his kids. Every kid he had, he just ate him, right? So one day his wife, she has Zeus, and she's like, oh my God, like if I show him, like all he's going to do is eat him too. So she gave him a boulder, and he ate the boulder thinking that it was Zeus. And that's how Zeus survived.
These were some real caveman stories.
So Zeus grows up, ends up killing Kronos, cutting him open. And since they were gods, they were still alive inside of him. And so that's where we get like Athena and Neptune and all of the other ones, because they're all related.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
They
were fully grown.
Yeah, they were fully grown. They're fully grown. They're like fully grown adults already. Yeah, because they'd grown and grew inside of his stomach. Dude. Greek mythology,
crazy.
Another level.
Yep.
Another level is Native American, like, mythology and folklore and stuff like that. That's really crazy.
It is. It's scary.
Do we have anything else?
What else? Agartha. Oh yeah, Call of Duty's a psyop. Whenever we say psyop, it means psychological operation. So
do you mean the game?
yeah.
The game.
So basically,
Think about this, man.
It came out that the Air Force and the Department of Defense was funneling a little bit of money to Activision, and they were allowing like the devs and stuff to come and see like new technologies.
Yeah.
Because they wanted them to put them in the game to give the military, to make kids look at the military in a favorable light. Like to look at basically the U.S. war machine. Like, wow, that is cool. Maybe I'll join the military. Or you know what? Maybe we shouldn't defund the military. Like,
Yeah.
we should just keep it going.
Like,
It's
look
so-
how cool it is. Look at the things you do. Like, look at the things that are
Exactly.
possible.
You know what?
And they're like, dude, my KD is yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I can be in the military.
Dude.
Oh my God, I just hit the crap out of this thing. Put that on
sounds
TikTok.
So like believable.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
you can look it up. They found finances.
Well, I mean, think about the way that they're using women right now. Like the military, the way they're finding these women that are very attractive and very pretty.
in the
that are
military, and they're
in
making
college,
them make TikToks and
making
stuff.
them make TikToks and go everywhere and dancing out in the middle of the Middle East. Like,
Or they'll be like in the field and they'll
yeah,
like, post a TikTok.
yeah. Of I'm like doing like a TikTok dance out there. Like, dude, like that's
Yeah,
not
like there's one
how war
specific
looks.
girl. I don't remember her name. They call her a glowy, and glowy means like, oh, you know, she's glowing because like she's a Fed or she's basically affiliated with the government, and she like embraced it. Yeah, she was like, oh, like I may be a glowy, but it might be the best glow job you ever get.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Dolphin
they're
noise
just
for
telling
sure.
it. They're just telling it to our face.
Yeah, but no one's. And then it's funny, military members are downloading TikTok when that's Chinese spyware.
Yeah, like you're not supposed
Like
to.
you have to be a.
So did you watch any of the actual like Congress thing?
We were talking about it. I heard about most of them.
So what they were saying is that what they've done is that the channel that we use for TikTok, they have created a whole separate like service center here in the United States that's not allowed to report back to China.
But do you believe that
I don't
TikTok?
know, dude. I don't know.
He's from the TikTok CEO's from China, and when they were asking him questions, he kept stumbling over himself.
Yeah, but did you also listen to some of the Congress people asking questions?
one
Like
of
these
them
poor
asked-
guys.
One of them asked if TikTok could hack the Wi-Fi through connecting to it.
I mean, it's also kind of possible though.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Because you can, this is a real thing. You can get onto somebody's Wi-Fi and then detect everything that they have on there. But the thing about TikTok, like if you look at their terms and conditions, even if you do like ask not to track, right? Do you know that they still like download your text messages?
Oh, and your passwords and your notes on your phone and your
Like-
pictures.
Like why does a entertainment app have to have my text messages or my photos?
And what's
or,
stupid is, like I said, military members downloading it. Yeah, I'm talking to you out there. When like you're in the military, bro, and you're downloading an app that's state sponsored by another country that's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
adversary here soon.
Yeah, literally.
Like, why would you download that? Like, oh, it's cool, it's hip, it's trendy. Yeah, but you're also in the military. Like,
Yeah.
don't OPSEC, don't give away fucking operational security. Like, don't just let, oh, you can track me TikTok, like, so you can see where our military bases are and shit
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Well, like they're like not even letting like senators like really try to use it.
or their
Their
kids.
kids, they're trying to get their
Yeah.
kids not to use it.
Because it can listen in on conversations. It can activate your microphone.
Oh yeah? How about it can pinpoint where you're at,
Oh, yeah.
even if you don't allow it to have access to your location?
Yeah.
What it'll do?
Hey, even though, you know, these are going to be on TikTok, fuck TikTok.
Yeah, right. Even though, like, let's say that you have it to not track, right? What it will do is it has Bluetooth access. It'll ping somebody else's phone. Well, oh, they have their location on. So if it pings off of your phone and it says, oh, he's in California, well, we know you're in California. Because it's not pinging off of my phone. They're not, and they're standing by what they said, right?
Yeah.
They're not tracking off of my phone. They're using other people's phones around them. It's the same way like an Apple AirTag works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause you know, Apple AirTag, as long as there's another iPhone around it, you can find it.
Damn.
Did you know that's how it works?
No.
Yeah, that's what it does. Apple AirTag bounces off of all of the other iPhones, to show you the location of where this item is at. Whether it be your keys or whatever, right? That's how That's how you don't have to pay for a service for it. You don't have to have LTE on it or anything because it bounces off Bluetooth off of everybody else's iPhone.
Damn.
And it gives you a location.
That's wild.
Which is the same way that these apps track you without you allowing them access to your location. Because it just bounces off of other people's Bluetooth.
It's crazy.
Crazy. Everybody's like, when everybody's talking about like this 5G coming out, right? They're like, oh, the 5G, like it's just to tap into us. Like it's just to make us like it's just to know where we're at and stuff. I'm like, dude, they know where you're at already.
Yeah, you carry your cell phone.
You have a phone with you.
That's why if you're going to commit crimes, leave your phone at home.
Bro, if you're going to do anything, like if you're going to do anything you absolutely don't want to track, don't take any Apple Watches. Don't take that. Like,
don't take your Garmin. Don't take
nothing, because they can track all of it.
Yep, pings off cell towers.
It pings off of everything, dude. Everything now. But you were talking about that monitor thing.
Yep, I was just about to pull it up.
That's what I was also interested in too.
What's crazy is nervous system manipulation can be caused by electromagnetic fields from monitors, and everyone's like, "Oh, that sounds like a fucking Alex Jones conspiracy theory." It's not. There's patents for this from the U.S. government, where they have the ability to control your nervous system through certain frequencies that they put out through monitors, like TV screens, computer screens, whatever it be. And they have patents. Like, you can look this up. There's patents. The first patent was in 2001. And it was granted in 2003 by Luce Hendricus G. It's a U.S. patent. And I tried looking into it more, but it doesn't really say much. It just talks about, like, that they've observed, like, psychological effects on people by using, like they're able to stimulate, like, the skin with, like, weak electromagnetic fields. And they're, like, through computer monitors, TV tubes, and displaying pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields, and all kinds of stuff like that.
What if that's why people get so addicted to games?
Right?
Right? Like, you get all these colors thrown at you. You're getting, like, this feeding off of the monitor. What if that is by... Like, I was thinking about this the other day, right? Like, everybody always says, like, oh, like, you're more likely to die driving than you are flying. Who came up with that statistic? Right? Like, What if, like, Southwest, Delta, United, American, we're all like, dude, let's get together. Let's have a study. And let's see how many, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like when Chevy comes out with a vehicle and they're like, oh, it won the GMC award of best truck to load around everything. If you look at those awards, a lot of those companies are funded by Chevy or funded by Ford.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, they have different names and stuff like that, because they're their own companies giving themselves awards. So what if, like, these companies are getting together and they're like, hey, we're going to put out a statistic. Don't worry. We proved it that flying is safer than driving everywhere.
Yeah.
So in this sense, what if these patents that come out, right, like for monitors and stimulants, stuff like that, like these gaming companies are working on these patents to keep people awake, to have them play games longer and not feel like it's like in a casino.
Where they pump oxygen and they keep all the lights.
You're always hearing bells going off, ding, 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 right? Nobody's fucking winning, but you're hearing all these bells. There's no, you know what I mean? Just to keep you going. Like you go in a casino, bright as hell. Bright as hell, it's like daylight.
No windows.
No windows, and it's always that bright. It's never dim. Like, it's always full send, right? Like, what if that's the gaming companies, like, trying to keep you to buy their games and playing games?
You know what I just thought?
It is.
Like...
You know what I just thought?
Ah! What?
When I went on the cruise, there was a casino on the ship.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single window in there.
Yeah. All casinos. In Vegas, when you go to Vegas, like, you walk into any casino, there's no clocks, no windows, and they pump it full of oxygen to keep you up. To keep you up and keep you going. Like, you walk around, and it's like in a movie, like, you just walk around out here, ding, 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 and you walk a little bit more, and ding, 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 ding. Like, people are winning.
Yep.
Just to keep you going, just for that chance of like we're almost there, we're almost there, we're almost there. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. God, this is a fun episode, dude.
It was.
Like, especially the Agartha thing. That's
And it's like hard to find more information on it, but I got almost everything there was.
Yeah, there was to talk about it. That's super crazy. That's really, really interesting. It's a fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
Fun episode. What do you think about your cigar?
Honestly, really good. I'm glad I bought
stupid good cigar.
3 more of these.
Yeah, this is a really, really good cigar. Broadleaf.
Like if you like earthy, that's all I really got from
Earthy. I got a little bit of chocolatey tone in it.
Like cocoa?
Like a cocoa tone.
Gotcha.
Like it tasted really, really good. Like it had that really good
and
cocoa
it's real
finish at the
toothy.
end of it.
It's real toothy is when it's like there's looks like it's kind of like little pockets of oil.
Yeah. Got little pockets of oil on it. Like it smells good. Tastes really good. Like I haven't lost flavor.
I don't know if you can see that camera, but there's a flying cigar on the band.
Cool. Look at that. I wonder how close you can see it. Can you see that? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I mean, Tatuaje, dude. Tatuaje.
They always hit. They always hit.
I don't know how they do it. Tatuaje.
Yeah.
I think that's it for this episode, though, dude.
Yes.
I think it's a really, really good episode.
It was fun. Yeah.
It's fun. I love talking about conspiracy theories and getting into that whole thing. Like that's just
next week we're going to talk about your other favorite thing.
Oh my god, cryptids.
We're going to talk about cryptids next week and folklore.
If you don't know about cryptids, like you don't know things about like the Mothman, and I can't believe
skinwalkers, wendigos,
like all that stuff.
Can even get into Lechusa.
I'm gonna go wild.
It's gonna be such a fun episode.
We're even gonna talk about stories we've heard.
Bigfoot's
a cryptid.
Mm-hmm, Bigfoot's a cryptid. Mothman, stuff like that. So next episode talking about cryptids. So make sure you're on here next Thursday because we're gonna drop that bad boy and we're gonna try to keep it not that long. But once we start going about like cryptids and the paranormal and stuff like that,
it's so hard to stop.
Because there's so much to go down and so much to talk about. Like it's hard not to, you know what I mean, keep going.
Yeah. But I know most of y'all, y'all don't know me. I'm the man behind the camera.
Yeah.
I love cryptids.
Yeah, it's such a fun topic because there's so much you can go into.
Yep.
So much you can go into. It's so deep.
It's kind of like same thing with conspiracies. Like you just don't know like if it's true or not because all these different like cultures believe in a form of a cryptid.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be super fun to talk about, super exciting. So next week, tune back in with us to talk about cryptids. I really, really enjoyed this one though, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this too. But if there's any other conspiracy theories or cryptids, or if y'all want to start having this segment where we talk about daily news, right? Like things that like are going through, not daily news, but like the top stories of the week and stuff like that. Like we're thinking about having segments on. Yeah. Like now we're tying in the cigar, but not making the whole podcast about cigars.
There will be episodes where we're talking about cigars.
For sure, there's going to be.
And in a couple, probably a month or two, we're going to both read a book. Yep. 2 different books. Mm-hmm. One of them is called The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. It is basically about how, all right, bear with me here. Christianity is nothing but a fertility cult. And when we read the book, that's going to be a fun episode to listen to. And then there's another book that we're going to read. Let me just read off the title really quick because it's by Cormac McCarthy called Blood Meridian. And they say it is one of the most messed up books out there.
Is that the one that Wendigoon just made a video?
Yeah. He's the one who got me to like,
look into it.
Like, I get it. He made it cool, but his is 5 hours long.
Yeah. That's just too long.
And he's just like kind of reading the book. We're just going to read it and then be like, wow.
Give you a synopsis of it.
And then, wow, this is fucked up. And then we're just going to like probably ramble about other stuff.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think Blood Meridian will probably get its own episode because that's probably... But that's a piece of literature that, like they say, like you have to read. You have to read because the guy who wrote it like doesn't use punctuation. I don't know if you know that or not. He doesn't use punctuation. Yeah, he doesn't quote what people are saying, so you have to read it and kind of like assume like this is who's. So people who read this book sometimes.
So anyone can be a novelist.
Yeah, literally, right? So sometimes people who like read the book. Like you and I reading it, we might get different things out of it. You know what I mean? So like, so that'd be super, super cool to read and talk about. That's going to be fun. That's going to be really, really fun.
One thing we definitely have to go over.
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove.
Oh
Oh yeah, and I wanted to get into the
Bohemian
Spear of
Grove.
Destiny.
I didn't even think about that one right now.
You know the Spear of Destiny?
I don't think so.
It's the spear that killed Jesus.
Oh.
So they say. We'll talk about it more later.
Yeah. Spear of Destiny, Bohemian Grove. But next episode's definitely going to be about cryptids. So definitely get ready for that. You're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to see that one because that one's going to be a fun episode. Even if you know nothing about them, even if you don't maybe find it interesting, take a listen because it's going to be something that's kind of like off the wall that you don't normally hear about. That's just going to be super fun and super interesting. As always, us three, we appreciate every single one of y'all. We're so close to our goal of 100 new Spotify listeners. So if we can, everybody, there is going to be a link at the bottom. If you already listen on Spotify, we appreciate it. We also have the YouTube channel up right now. If you haven't followed our TikTok, follow our TikTok. We started getting we're going to start being more frequent on it where we are now new shows coming out. There's going to be little snippets. And I might even start dropping like teasers, like to a new episode that's going to come out next. I might drop like a little teaser so that way you can see kind of like what we're talking about. Because that's going to be, the fact that we have Javi on, content is going to be super fun because Javi is
kind of crazy,
phenomenal at research. And so when he deep dives into something, he deep dives into it.
Yeah, I wrote like 6 pages in here and half of them are just on Agartha.
Dude, great job on that content because it's so fun. If you have any more questions about anything else, drop a comment down below. But we are trying to get as many people as we can. So as we keep asking, if you've listened to it this far, what we ask that you send this to 2 friends. Even if they don't maybe, like conspiracy theories, which I've never met anybody who doesn't like conspiracy theories.
Fun.
It's so fun to think about. If you don't maybe like conspiracy theories or maybe don't like cryptids, take a listen. You might learn something. You might find something interesting and you might find a new thing you want to read about whenever you're free. Because these things are fun and they're going to be really, really entertaining. And so we hope that you want to be on this ride and this journey with us. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe on the everything, anywhere you're watching us. Please rate the podcast wherever you're listening. If you're listening on Apple Music, helps the podcast a ton. If you're listening on Spotify, helps the podcast a ton. Rating us and liking us, but please, we're trying to get traction. So we need y'all to share us to as many friends as possible. But other than that, I think that is us signing off for the day. We appreciate you guys. Love all of y'all. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.